I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver, and I'm joined by Craig Parry of IsoEnergy. Thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Hey Gwen, thanks for having us.
Of course. So ISO, a uranium story, a uranium discovery story, and one that has just gone out and successfully raised $6 million in a bought deal financing. So lots of things about that sort of stand out. So let's first talk about marketing a uranium story for a financing right now. So how did that go? Obviously it went well, but let's talk about uranium sentiment and sort of what it is and why that would be.
Yeah, look, we're starting to see a real pickup in interest, I think. You know, thankfully we're sort of being based in Canada, the project's in Canada, we can access those flow-through markets.
Right.
But you know, we went out to raise $3 million through PI on the bought deal component.
Right.
They very quickly upped it to $3.5 million, and I think we had orders for upwards of $4.5–5 million at the end of that. So interest is returning to uranium for sure. Of course, you know, those investors, those flow-through investors are happy with us in that they know that we've got an active program coming up. We're going to have a couple of rigs on the ground, so they know the money will get spent, and you know, I think they see that we're going to get some good results. But the really exciting thing about that was that our major shareholder, NextGen, put in $2.65 million of hard dollars as well. So that sets us up neatly, but it also is a big tick of approval there from NextGen.
For sure. And I think the investor sentiment is probably clearly they're interested in your discovery, in your project, in your team, and all of those corporate things, but also the uranium they're obviously contrarian uranium investors who are starting to see a market with potential, with nearer term potential than we've seen for a bit.
Yeah, spot on. Look, and of course, you know, we've been in this very low price environment for a couple of years now, 3 years now in essence, and we've seen all of those supply side cutbacks that we needed to see that will drive the turn. And of course, McArthur River being the biggest of those closures. So we estimate, you know, about 40% of global production has been taken out of the market.
That's a huge number.
You know, never really happens in mining to that extent.
Yeah.
You can imagine if you know, 40% of the world's copper was knocked out, and what sort of that would do to copper prices. Well, it's coming for uranium. You know, prices have started to rise. Last couple of weeks have been really interesting. Prices are up about $1.50 in the past couple of weeks. You know, that's the time to start looking. And certainly, you know, I've just back last night from a roadshow through New York and Toronto, and good, strong interest from fund managers in those locations for sure. So something's turning. You can see it coming. That wall of money starting to come back to the sector.
When I talk about investing in gold these days, I talk about how when generalist dollars turn into gold, it's a lot of money being funneled into a very small sector. Well, that's only amplified with uranium, right? Yes. You were speaking in your presentation about how the 500 uranium stocks that we had in the last bull market are down to sort of really 35 stocks that are active right now. Yes. And, you know, explorers with new discoveries, well, there's not very many. There's ISO.
There's ISO, there's us. Yeah, we're out on our own.
Right, so take us quickly through Hurricane, what it is, what you're planning to do with this money that you've just raised at the discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. So since we last had a chat, we've done another drill campaign. That takes our total number of holes to 28 holes. We put out some very good results, really some spectacular numbers, 8 metres at 7% uranium, those sorts of numbers. So it's true high grade, very high grade Athabasca uranium mineralisation we're drilling there. We've now taken that, since we last spoke, from about 180 metres of strike length to over 500 metres of strike length. It's about 40 metres wide, 5 metres thick, that ore body. We've got a hell of a lot of infill and extensional drilling to do there. So, you know, you can never guarantee good results, but we'll be drilling in and around known significant mineralisation. So come January, I think it should be an exciting time. There'll be a huge amount of news flow. We're going to have 2 rigs on the ground instead of 1 this time. We're drilling 20 holes, 8,500 metres. The budget for that's about $2.5 million. So plenty of good news flow come the winter. And that'll be on the way at some point, you know, next year. I hope that we can get to a point where we'll have a maiden resource. And that's all against that really positive emerging backdrop of uranium prices.
There you go. That's the ISO story right there. It's the uranium. There's not very many options if you really decide that you want to move into this sector that's looking at an upswing, and let alone junior explorers with new discoveries.
Very good.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Good on you, Gwen. Thank you.